Reacher Season 1 was a massive hit, but then things took a huge downturn. So how did Reacher rise to the top only to stumble? Well, let's dive in. Before Reacher became a hit TV series, it all started back with the book Killing Floor by Lee Child. After being laid off as a presentation director for Granada TV in 1995, Child was in a tight spot. At the time, he had no other career prospects except for working in television. But I had a feeling that I could try and write a book, explains Child in an interview with Penguin. 2 years later, Child released the very first novel in the Jack Reacher series, and since the release of Killing Floor in 1997, the author has written a total of 29 Reacher novels, with the 30th, Exit Strategy, set to hit shelves on October 21st of 2025. Child is also estimated to have sold over 100 million copies of these novels across the world, translated into 49 different languages. Moreover, 2 of these novels have been adapted into Tom Cruise movies, the first of which is based on the book One Shot, and was a box office hit that grossed $218 million worldwide in 2013. And although the second movie was a critical and commercial flop in 2016, that didn't stop Child from continuing to write at least one novel per year, which he has done from 1997 up until present. In fact, despite longtime readers' misgivings about Tom Cruise not fitting Reacher's physical description, Cruise did nail his intimidating force of personality. So, in the end, the movies actually did their job and introduced more audiences to the Jack Reacher series, and as it turns out, Cruise's best ever movie performance as an anti-hero was just a preview of things to come. Indeed, the true rise of the Reacher franchise won't really happen until 2022, when Prime Video released the first series adaptation of Killing Floor, Reacher Season 1. Coincidentally, this also saw Lee Child's return to television over 2 decades since he got laid off. And though it may have taken 25 years for Killing Floor to finally get the adaptation it deserves, the wait was well worth it. For starters, the showrunners couldn't have found a better actor to play Reacher than Alan Ritchson. Prior to playing Jack Reacher, the 6'3" actor was a lean 205 pounds, and he had to put on 30 pounds of muscle in just a couple of months, all in the name of matching Reacher's description in the novels. And it's not just his physique and dedication that makes him so perfect as Reacher. He actually even meets, or even in some cases exceeds, Tom Cruise's near-perfect portrayal of the role. Arguably, it was the decision to adapt the very first Jack Reacher novel that secured the success of Reacher Season 1. From beginning to end, Season 1 lays out everything that's great about the Jack Reacher series, from his unfaltering confidence to his ability to always be one step ahead of his friends and foes alike. Reacher is an unstoppable force, and although it might be overkill to drop Reacher into a small town that's hiding crimes, that's exactly the point of the character. There's nothing quite as satisfying as watching Reacher tear through Margrave in the name of justice, and all this was by design. Reacher will be the first to contest any claims that he's a bona fide hero, but Lee Child actually envisioned Jack Reacher as the perfect, indomitable solution to the dangers of the world. Even the way Reacher rejects worldly possessions makes him comparable to the messiahs of certain religions. Notably, the first season of the Prime Video series did change one big thing about the first book, turning Reacher's internal monologue into an actual dialogue. But even that just paints a better picture of Reacher's no-nonsense approach to life and death. In addition, the small cast of Killing Floor served to highlight Reacher's nature as a lone wolf, only working with others when absolutely necessary. And much to Reacher's chagrin, Finlay and Roscoe are actually the perfect foil to Reacher's almost messianic air of mystery. Even Reacher and Roscoe's awkward love scenes only serve to make Reacher more relatable. By adapting Killing Floor, Reacher Season 1 introduced an anti-hero that was both familiar and fresh, a hitchhiking hobo who's secretly a killing machine, who also just so happens to be one of the world's greatest detectives. So if Season 1 was so great, why isn't Reacher being heralded as the undisputed best action crime series in the history of TV? While Reacher had all this going for him in 2022, things took a drastic turn in the following year. As the saying goes, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And boy did Reacher Season 2 go big. Based on the 2007 novel Bad Luck and Trouble, Season 2 went way further than just dropping Reacher into a dusty, sleepy town to do his thing. From the small fictional community of Margrave, Reacher went to places like Atlantic City and New York, and rather than dismantling an ambitious local crime ring, Reacher sets off to solve a terrorist conspiracy with global stakes. In the second season, someone's actually hunting Reacher and his former military team, the ex-members of the US Army's 110th Special Investigations Unit. So instead of just one badass who used to catch trained killers for a living, we get a handful of them cutting through bad guys like butter. The stakes are higher, the settings slicker, and even the guns are better this time round. On paper, Season 2 should have outdone the first in every possible way. So, what happened? Much like the rise of Reacher, the fall of the franchise has a lot to do with the novel that showrunners chose to adapt. Bad Luck and Trouble is actually the 11th novel released in the Jack Reacher series, and the 14th in terms of chronology. This makes it quite different from the established formula of Reacher being a reclusive, secret elite detective shaking things up in a quiet town. Apart from the killing floor, this formula can be seen in other early Reacher novels like One Shot, Persuader, and Die Trying, and it is initially what made Lee Child's novels so popular. Ideally, Bad Luck and Trouble is a book that would have been better reserved for later seasons of the show. It would have been much more rewarding to meet Reacher's team later, after Reacher himself has proven his toughness and intelligence beyond all doubt. Instead, by going with a cast of mini Reachers, the protagonist came off as a lot less unique in the second season. And while a team of badasses seems better than just one, this dynamic also ended up hurting a key and beloved aspect of the show, the fight scenes. Whereas Season 1's gritty one-on-one fights underscored Reacher's strength and capabilities, the second season's group fights nearly relegated him to being just another side character. In fact, the fight choreography got substantially worse in this season. Reacher's big, strong moments came off more cartoonish rather than visceral, and when supposedly elite ex-military agents engage in gunfights without even ducking for cover, the illusion completely falls apart. Now, don't get me wrong, Reacher and Neely's 110th team do have genuine chemistry, but as everyone in the team is essentially a watered-down version of Major Jack Reacher, no one truly stood out in the cast of Season 2, not even Reacher himself. Moreover, Season 2's reliance on catchphrases only served to make this team of Reachers more formulaic and forgettable than they really are, and it doesn't help that the cast literally repeats certain lines with minimal to no impact on the flow of the scenes where they occur. In the end, Season 2 failed because showrunners bit off way more than they can chew by adapting Bad Luck or Trouble. Ultimately, neither the show nor its core viewers were ready for this type of approach. To be fair, however, the third season did manage to fix many of these major problems, but at the same time, Reacher Season 3 never really managed to capture lightning in a bottle like Season 1. In many ways, the Season 3 episodes would have made for a much better second installment of Reacher. Based on the 2003 novel, Persuader, Reacher Season 3 was a refreshing dive back into the classic Lee Child formula, even though it came with truly unexpected twists. With Reacher infiltrating a criminal organization as himself, Season 3 introduced new dynamics to the show, allowing Reacher to grow while still preserving his lone wolf appeal. And unlike Reacher's team in the second season, Duffy and Villanueva are also different enough for Reacher to still be a unique character in his own show. That said, Season 3 isn't perfect, but while the expositional dialogue does hurt the rhythm of certain scenes, the plot is also simple enough to follow even when the characters are just talking on screen. And let's not forget the villains. As opposed to Season 2's, who didn't really live up to his intense build-up, Season 3's Xavier Quinn is genuinely terrifying, like a declassified CIA report that's come to life. In relation to this, Paulie giving Reacher a taste of his own medicine was a great and much-needed reality check for the ever-stalwart protagonist. Moreover, the fictional town of Abbotsville, Maine is certainly grander and has darker secrets than Margrave, but while Season 3 ramped up the stakes like the previous season, it still maintained the small town feel that made Season 1 so authentic and lived in. So although Reacher Season 3 doesn't really measure up to the near-perfect first season, it's still a huge step up from Season 2. And overall, it's a leap in the right direction for a series that seemed to be losing its steam just a couple of years ago. However, the story doesn't really end there. Before the third season even premiered, Reacher was actually renewed for a fourth season. Season 4's one job: get back to what made Reacher great, and if it sticks to the formula, it could be the best season of the show yet. For now, it's currently unknown which book in the Jack Reacher series will be adapted for Season 4. Longtime book readers point to the 19th novel, Personal, as it has direct plot connections with the basis for Season 3, Persuader, and it could be beneficial for Reacher to actually have interconnected plots across its growing number of seasons. Moreover, adapting Personal could open the door for the show to also explore the novel One Shot, which was notably used for the 2012 Tom Cruise film. Another possibility is the book Tripwire, which sees Reacher not just becoming an inadvertent hero, but also dealing with his baggage from his tumultuous past. And this could give Alan the chance to truly flex his dramatic chops instead of just his muscles. Meanwhile, there's also The Midnight Line, a Reacher novel that's focused on America's opioid crisis. The Midnight Line is actually Lee Child's personal favorite from his own series, the book that he's the most proud of out of the 29 he's already written, and Season 4 would be the perfect opportunity to give it the live-action treatment. On the other hand, in terms of sticking to Reacher's lone wolf formula, the books Nothing to Lose, Worth Dying For, and Echo Burning are also great contenders. In any case, whichever book showrunners pick to adapt, viewers expect Reacher Season 4 to outdo the previous seasons, and whether that's possible or not remains to be seen. So what do you think? Can Reacher Season 4 keep the show from going completely off the rails, or did Season 3 already pull that off? Tell us your thoughts in the comments, and keep watching ScreenRant.